ठीक है. Okay, so now let us see. I am talking about the another drug, which is name of the drug is the picric acid. So picric acid is one of the very important medicine for the especially for the degeneration of the spinal cord. It is a yellowish color discoloration, and those who are the very intelligent, those who are the working more mentally than the physically, for them the picric acid is very important drug. So what is happening there is that in case of the trinophenol, it is the common name of the drugs are there. So it causes the degeneration of the, its main sphere of action is on the brain and spinal cord. So whenever there is any complication, especially in the brain and spinal cord, we can think of the picric acid. It is also acid group, but it has some more importance about it. There is a paralysis condition, paralysis of the in general or the local or extremities, even the brain. Even we will find that there is the brain fag, also another factor. Brain fag and sexual excitement is also another factor. So brain fag is very important to the picric acid. Okay, and sexual excitement. So इसलिए दो चीज़ इसके में मिलते हैं. The person जो are the highly sexually sexual desire is more, and sexual excitement is more, along with the excessive sexuality is there, and the brain fag is there. You can think of the picric acid. Another drug of this medicine is the phosphoric acid also. This acts upon the generative organs and probably through the lumbar centers of the spinal cord. Lumbar center of the spinal cord. The prostration is there. Weakness and pain in the back is also there. Prostration, weakness, pain in the back is there. The pins and needle sensation in the extremities, pain in the back, and pins and needle sensation in the extremity. What it means? It means that there is a picking sensation and needle sensation. That is very important. Most of the time it is also found in case of the diabetes or diabetic condition or any neurologic disorder. Sometimes there is the sensation peculiar are also felt in the extremities, weakness, prostration. Even the neurasthenia is also there, nerve disorders. Oxalic acid is also there. That the muscular debility, muscles are under those debility condition, heavy, tired feeling, myelitis and spasm, muscle pain, spasm and prostrations are there. Writer's palsy is a very important symptoms of this drug. Writer's palsy. जो लोगों लिखते टिकते जो लोगों का वीकनेस प्रोस्टेशन एक ही जगह बैठ के काम करते हैं लोगों के लिए there is the progressive pernicious anemia. It is also another very important symptoms of these drugs. Pernicious anemia, ठीक है ना, one type anemia, pernicious anemia, that is also in that cases. Uremia and completely anuria, दोनों जगह में भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं. With 1% solution upon the lint is best application for the burns. This picric acid also can be useful in case of the burn case until granulation begins in the form and so on. So this is mostly nervous disorder, nervous pain, paralytic condition, pain, splinter-like to other organs, brain fag, so and so in this. Lack of mind, if we see the mind, the lack of willpower, this is very important symptoms of these drugs. इसलिए बहुत सारे लोग देखते हैं जो लोगों विल पावर कम हो जाते हैं, लैक है, lacuna. In that cases we can think of these drugs. There is the relief by the lack of the disinclination to work. ये भी और एक शब्द बोल दिया. No inclination to work, disinclination to work. ये लोग कुछ काम करना पसंद नहीं करते. And cerebral softening of the drugs. The brains are under softening. Dementia of the prostration, dementia with prostration. तो एजिंग प्रोसेस में डिमेंशिया है, प्रोस्ट्रेशन है, सिट स्टिल एंड लिस्टलेस, एक ही जगह बैठते हैं, पैरालाइज करने में बैठते हैं और कुछ इंफॉर्मेशन, हेड पेन्स relieved by bandaging and tightly, headache relieved by tight bandaging, occipital pain, worse slightest mental exertion. There is a mental exertion, aggravation from slightest exertion. The vertigo and noises in the ear. It is also another important. Boils within the ear is a very important symptom of that. Actually, पिक्रिक एसिड वहीं पे दिया जाता है जहाँ पे कोई फरंकियल की बॉयल्स है, स्पेशली इन द कार्टिलेजिनस टिश्यू. इसलिए बॉयल्स और फरंकियल स्पेशली इन द ईयर, नोज, ये जो एरिया है इसमें ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. एंड द मेंटल एक्सर्शंस आर ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एग्रावेशन फ्रॉम साइटिस मेंटल एक्सर्शन, वर्टिगो एंड नॉइज ऑफ द ईयर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. हमारे पास टिनाइटस बहुत मेडिसिन है, थियोसिना बोल के मेडिसिन है, कोना मैक्रोटम भी है, पल्सिटिला भी है, कालीब्रोम भी है, एंड सो ऑन. आफ्टर प्रोलॉन्ग्ड मेंटल strain with anxiety and dread of failure at the examination, brain fag, dread of failure, this is another characteristic symptoms of the drug. So dread of failure condition, failure ऐसे लगता है, भीति बढ़ती है. And the brain failure at examinations, failure of the examination, very important, brain fag. And in the eyes in the chronic cataract conditions, eyes, chronic cataract conjunctivitis with copious thick yellow discharges, conjunctivitis with copious thick yellow discharge is also another characteristic symptoms of that. Actually, picric acid is also yellow color drugs, and so that all the discharges are yellow. If we think in that condition, this is also another thing. Chronic cataract conditions, हमारे पास काली बाई है, हमारे पास पिक्रिक एसिड, नटम सल्फ है, नटम फॉस भी है, चली दुनिया में, like this so many drugs for this purpose. Stomach, bitter taste, aversion to food. Taste bitter, aversion to food is very important. Another is the urinary. If you see the urinary symptoms of the drugs, so in case of the urinary symptoms, it has some importance. The urine becomes scanty and the complete anuria. What do you mean by anuria? I mean the absence of the urine, anuria. There is the dribbling of the micturition is also another part. Dribbling of the micturition is very important factor. Urine contains much indications, much indicant. Urine contains much indicant. Granular cylinder and fatty degeneration, degenerative epithelium is also. Granular cylinders and fatty degenerations are important. Inflammation of the kidney with profound weakness. Inclination of the kidneys with profound inflammation, kidneys with profound weakness. एक inflammation के साथ साथ weakness भी है. Dark blood, scanty urine, nightly urging. So these are the factors. Nightly aggravation is also very important. Then question comes about the male sexual organs. That mostly their males are emissions, profuse, and sexual desire be also profuse, and followed by great exhaustions. Emissions profuse, followed by great prostration, weakness, and brain fag, without sensual dreams. So, without sensual dreams, cement discharge, we can think of these drugs. Fluoric acid है, fluoric acid भी है. Even there is the priapism. What do you mean by priapism? Mean constant erection of the penis. The satyriasis, hard erection is also present. इसलिए कोई लोगों को देखते हैं excessive sexual desire with constant erection of the penis is also very important. With pain in testicles, and up the cord. तो testicles के ऊपर पेन है and cord के ऊपर भी पेन है. Prostatic hypertrophy is also another factor. Prostatic hypertrophy. So in case of the prostatic hypertrophy, this is also another question, especially in case of not too far advanced. Prostatic hypertrophy is very important. Female pain in left ovary and leukorrhea before menstruation, pruritus valvi is also there. So female may can ovarian leukorrhea, left ovarian and leukorrhea before menstruation. Now ovarian leukorrhea में before menstruation problem, pruritus valvi is there. Extremities burning along the spine is also very important. कभी-कभी देखा गया है ना, there is the burning sensation along the vertebral column and the spinal cord. Another medicine also there, phosphoric acid is also there, phosphorus is also there, agaric acid is also there. Great weakness, tired feeling all over the body, and especially limbs. Worse exhaustion, feels cold, cannot get wrong, acute descending paralysis is also important. Modalities, worse, least exertion is there, aggravation from least exertions, especially the mental, the patient of Picric acid cannot tolerate any mental exertions. After sleep, weight weather aggravation, sleep aggravation, summer or hot weather remedy. This is good medicine for summer and for hot weather. Patient is worse then. Better from cold air and tight pressure is also there. Comparison oxalic acid. Oxalic acid also there while thinking of it. Very important. Gelsimab also is there. Weakness, prostration, blindness, this and that. Phosphorus is also. Phosphoric acid. Picric acid is from different. Silicea argentinaticum is also important. Silicea, the very chilly patient, argentina also there. The comparison you can think of the zinc picretum, the facial paralysis and paralytic agitance. The facial paralysis and paralytic agitance है. और लोग zinc pic दे सकते. Ginkam itself is in general medicine for the cases of the nervous disorder, whatever may be. And whenever picric acid also added with the zinc, then what we will find it? That is the facial paralysis and paralytic agitants are also there. Ferrum is mostly related to the iron, picreta, buzzing in ears and deafness is also important. Deafness is also important. इसका आर्टिफिशियल को प्रॉब्लम है. Social buzzing in the ear, and chronic gout and epistaxis is also present in case of the phenom peak. So another is the prostatic troubles are also there in case of the zinc peak, and calcula peak usually boils in the around the ears is also very important. तो ये तो थोड़ा बोरिक की बात हो गई. बोरिक मेडिसिन का इसके बारे में थोड़ा आइडिया है. नेक्स्ट हमारा अगर देखा गया इसका और थोड़ा इंट्रोडक्शन. यूजुअली trizophenol is the common name. Dr. T.F. Allen has been proved it. Picric acid proved by the T.F. Allen. It also exists a bright yellow glistening crystals and has sour odor, but it has a very bitter taste in the mouth. So it has yellow color, bitter taste in the mouth. It is one of the important medicine for the disease of the spinal origin. ऐसे medicine जो spinal origin से तैयार होते हैं. Spear affections cause a degeneration of the spinal cord with paralysis. So इसलिए paralysis करते, degeneration करते, produce a fair picture of the nervous frustration is also very important. It produces the nervous frustrations. इसलिए जो लोगों nervous frustration में इन लोगों के लिए mostly important. Has also action on the blood, genitourinary system and skin. एक और कौन जाना में blood, genitourinary system and system and skin में aggravation है. Constitution makeup suited to dark complexion of the persons and with dirty appearance over the knuckles. ये बहुत बड़े शब्द होते हैं. हमारा नकल्स जो है, ये जो नकल्स बोला तो ये जो है दिस कॉल्ड द नकल्स, ब्लैक कलर का, डार्क कलर का, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. और एक मेडिसिन है नट्रम का. On the basis of one symptom, we can prescribe these two medicines. But sometimes symptoms are different, and we have to prescribe on the uncommon peculiar symptom basis. So, if the nervous frustration has also action on the blood and genitourinary organ system, constitutions make up the suited to the dark complexions, and persons with dirty appearance about the knuckles, it is very, very important symptoms to prescribe the picric acid. Okay, with excessive prostration, weakness, nervousness, these are the nervous disorders also important to the drugs. There is the catheteric, anemic catheteric persons worth out, persons who are overtaxed mentally and physically. ऐसे लोग जो लोग severe mentally taxed, overtaxed physically and mentally with nervous disorder, we can think of the picric acid for those people. Next, if you see it related to the heat and cold, the patient is better by the cold and cold water. इसलिए picric acid में क्या देखते हैं, जो cold and cold water में इसका आराम मिलते हैं. Next नंबर heat and cold, अच्छा cold water, मायाजम, सोलासिफिलिक, साइकोसिस, तीनों मायाजम में मोस्टली प्रोड्यूस रहते हैं. तीनों मायाजम, सोलासिफिलिक एंड साइकोटिक, तीनों मायाजम इसमें मौजूद हैं. Guiding symptoms are देखा progressive weariness from the slightest feeling of fatigue on the motion to complete the paralysis, weakness, prostration, weariness, mental and physical weakness is mostly important. Like all acids, profound weakness and debility run through the whole drug. Profound weakness, prostration, like all acids, it has a great role. एक मायाजम, the solasifili, psychotic, तीनों मायाजम मौजूद हैं. Burning along the spine is very important. Burning along the skin is and the spine is very important, and weakness of the spine, like softening of the cord is very important. Softening of the cord, बोलो तो जो लोग ज़्यादा टाइम बैठ नहीं सकते, सो नहीं सकते, ज़्यादा टाइम वर्किंग नहीं कर सकते, वर्किंग करने में पेन होती है, and so and so. This is a very important medicine for the case of the brain fag. Brain fag is a very important medicine. And those who are the very literate persons and those are the business people, who always consume their brain for the purpose of the business or for some purpose of the study, weakness, prostration, and you can think of the picric acid. The slightest excitement or mental condition or over the work brings on headache and causes burning along the spine. Thorough exertion, mental, physical exertion and work brings the headache and causes burning along the spine. This caliphage is very important. Burning along the spine is very important. Headache, exertions, headache of students, headache of the students, teachers and overworked businessmen. स्टूडेंट बोलो, टीचर बोलो, जो लोग बिजनेसमैन हमेशा बिजनेस के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं, वो लोगों के लिए फॉर ग्रीफ और डिप्रेशन इमोशंस, जब जो लोग हेडेक, वो लोगों के लिए जो आर द डिप्रेस्ड और ग्रीफ इमोशंस आर देयर, दे आर अंडर स्ट्रेस, ग्रीफ, डिप्रेशन, इमोशंस. Occipital cerebral region is also, there is pain in the occipital and cerebral region. Ammunition by tight bending is very important. So tight bending is आराम मिलते हैं. And belladonna भी है, argentina भी है. Heaviness, numbness and formication and weakness are the words which are denoted of this type. Heaviness, numbness, weakness, formications, these are the keynote symptoms of drugs. Another typical symptoms is, that is very uncommon peculiar symptoms is, that is the priapism. Priapism बोलो तो there is the constant erection of the penis is very important. The medicine has some very peculiar signs, symptoms of the constant erection of the penis, that is called the priapism. With spinal disorders, there is violent, long-lasting erections. एक शब्द है, violent, long-lasting erections. Penis is painfully distended. Penis is painfully distended. great sexual desire with emissions leading to impotency. Great sexual desire, they are very lascivious mania with emissions leading to impotency. जो लोग excessive sexual mania है, sexual desire है, sexuality है, उन लोगों को sex करते करते भी उन लोगों को नाना complication आ सकते हैं. Excessive weakness, prostration, and this type of sexuality with excessive emission causing them weakness. Next one, small painful wild spatial and extraordinary metas, which I told you that छोटे-छोटे फोड़े ये होते हैं, small in ears and external meatus इधर भी है, and also in other parts of the body छोटे-छोटे calculapi, picric acid, carbolic acid, these are very important. So carbolic acid में offensive nature है, picric acid में भी अलग type है, calculapi में मुझे में है. Next language. So if we see in different way, that is the heaviness, numbness, heaviness, numbness, formication, and weakness are the words which are the keynote of these drugs. इसलिए कोई जगह में heaviness in the body, heaviness in the brain, heaviness, numbness in all of the parts of the body. Then the formication. The formication is the numbness and formication बोलो तो जो sensation loss. And weakness is also very important and are the words which are the keynote of the drugs. So if we see about these drugs, it is a very good medicine for the case of the nervous system disorders, especially brain and the nervous system, and especially the vertebral column and the nerves which are distributing from this area. Prior with spinal disease, there is a violent and long-lasting injections. Penis is spatially painfully distended. Penis जो है वो spatially distended है, and great sexual desire with emissions leading to impotency. Sexual desire excessive with emissions leading to impotency. Excessive emission, excessive sexual desire उसको impotency बना देते. Small painful wells, especially in the external auditory meatus, also in other parts of the body, छोटे-छोटे फोड़ा होते हैं, different parts of the body. This also is one of the important medicine of these drugs, picric acid. Even the calculapic also there, even carbolic acid also there. तो पूरा body में छोटे-छोटे फोड़ा होते हैं, painful है, no one can think of. Even offensive discharges होते हैं, discharges from the whole body, especially boils from the whole body. You can think of these drugs. Dr.Chatterjee of Paris recommended the picric acid by highly for burns for the first and second degree. Picric acid is very important medicine. Even the lotion is also very important for the cases of the burns and so and so. It is also a medicine for the progressive pernicious anemia. Progressive pernicious anemia में भी इसका इस्तेमाल किया जा सकता है. Ailments from fatigue, mental exertion, study, grief or depression, emotions and sexual abuse. The causative factor related to the nervous system, either from the fatigue, mental exertion, study, grief, depression, emotion, sexual abuse. Excessive emotions and sexual abuse, grief उससे. What's from least mental exertion, the least study. Aggravation from least mental exertions or from the least study. ये है motion wet weather में motion aggravation है, and better from the cold air and the cold water are the characteristic modalities. So exertion motion है, cold water में aggravation. Particulars: mind, brain fag of literary persons or business people, literary persons, educated or business peoples. Slightest excitement, there is the excitement, slightest excitement. Mental exertion on overwork brings on headache and bursting along the spine. Lack of willpower, disinclined to work. It is also another important. ब्रेन फैग अब लिटरी पर्सन्स कोई अगर यहाँ ब्रेन फैग हो गया लिटरी पर्सन का इवन बिजनेस पीपल का ब्रेन फैग मतलब कुछ याद नहीं रहते slightest excitement or mental exertion on overwork brings on headache and brings and burning pain in the spine. So weakness prostration spine के अंदर we can think of these drugs. Lack of willpower is also very important. Disinclined to work is also very important. After certain stage weakness of brain dementia with prostration still and listless ये लोगों बैठे एक जगह थे डिस्ट्रेस एपाथी हो जाए एक्सट्रीमिटी इज ग्रेट वीकनेस टायर्ड फीलिंग हेवी फीलिंग ऑल ओवर द बॉडी इसमें और एक शब्द बोल दिया टायर्ड हेवी फीलिंग ऑन द होल बॉडी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट ऑफ द ड्रग्स नेक्स्ट नंबर वीक्स वर्स एक्सर्शन weariness progressing from the slightest feeling of fatigue or motion to complete paralysis progression aggravation from progression feeling of fatigueness motion to complete the paralysis. Paralytic weakness. There is the acute ascending paralytic condition. Acute ascending paralytic conditions. Burning along the spine, great weakness and spine of back. Spine and the great weakness. Softening of the cord is also important. General modality is amelioration. General modality is amelioration from cold air and cool water. इसलिए पिक्रिक एसिड का अगर कोई देखा गया तो एमोल्यूशन फ्रॉम कोल्ड एयर कोल्ड थिंग इसमें एग्रेवेशन फॉर हॉट मेंटल एक्सर्शंस एंड so many things are also there and so what you find it in case of the picric acid that is the emulsion cold aggravation from least mental exertion that is also study and wet weather तो study wet weather में इसको aggravation है so we'll think about it that is the picric acid and so in general what you'll find it in general picric acid is very important this acts especially on the brain already told I am repeating this medicine thrice so that any points should not be out of your knowledge. So it acts upon the brain, spinal column, lumbar region, occiput, kidneys and sexual organs. Very weakness, heavy tired feeling in the body and mind, degeneration of the spinal cord with paralysis, spasm from myelitis, easily prostration, progressive anemia, burning parts also spine along the legs, cachexia, one of persons mentally and physically, थके हुए numbness, fulmication, neurasthenia is also there. Acute ascending paralysis, very important symptoms of it. Acute paralytic conditions is also very important. Type palsy is a very important sign symptoms of this drug. Next number, worse exertion, mental and physical, even seminal losses, mental exertion, mental and physical exertion, seminal losses, heat of the summer, fatigue, study, overwork, mental and physically, mental shock, study, this and that, better with the rest and cold, bandaging is also from the headache, bandaging in the sun is also there. Lack of willpower, understanding is there, great failure in the examination, fear of examination failure, after prolonged mental strain and anxiety, as it stares on ground coming up to the meeting, ground coming on a meeting. Alone, although enjoying the society, the main idea of marriage is unendurable. Marriage idea is unendurable. Sit still and listless, executive does not take interest in surroundings. Heavy occipital pain down to the spine and lower limbs, headache, aggravation from mental exertion and nose, bleed, bandaging with sexual excitement and violent erections, brain fag, headache and during the daytime and in the sleep, headache and so on. Eyes, yellow chronic conjunctivitis, painful, boils in the meatus bola, stomach, bitter taste with the thirst, aversion to food, vomiting suddenly with the warming, vomits, abdomen oily and burning stool, diarrhea from the mental exertion, burning recompression stool steam, and yellow urine, ammoniac and trembling urine, uremia with complete anemia, diabetes and anemia, enlargement of the prostate, lasciviousness is very present, lascivious thoughts in presence of any woman, priapism, head, hard erection with the pains in testicle and spermatic cord, hard erection we have, extreme prostration from frequent seminal emission, extreme prostration after seminal erection, impotency with the tendency to boil and the carbuncles, impotency to boil and the carbuncle production in females, extreme exhaustion after menstruation period, neck pain, food boils on the nape of the neck, backache and langar is there. Keep legs while apart while standing, very uncommon because you keep apart from while apart while standing. Okay, acting, aching, tired legs are tired, writer's camera, back seems as a bandage, also limbs, back seems to be bandage, also limbs, anesthesia of the legs as if one has elastic stocking, anesthesia as if one has elastic stockings, legs weak, heavy like head, lips with difficulty, skin jaundice, painfully, sure boils on the neck, and sleepiness, sleep sound, very unrefreshing, sleepy during day, sleepless during night, a very important, sleepy during the day and sleeplessness during the night, a very important medicine related to the gelsemium, weakness, prostration to gelsemium, oxalic acid aggravation of it, phosphorus is also there in the strangling, constant erection of the penis, phosphoric acid also there, constant erection of the penis also there. So while prescribing of this drug, we could think about this. Picric acid